Hey guys, so Brian here, just a real quick, update. I got a little bit of silver today at my local coin shop, and I just went there. Sorry for the movement on the camera today. I'm just kind of holding it real quick. It won't be too long, so I got 8 ounces, just some generic rounds. I really like these Morgan lookalikes. I've got a whole roll of half ounce of these. So when I saw them at the store, just in the generic stuff, then I went ahead and grabbed those. And then there was two of these little Liberty ones as well. But so I went ahead and grabbed that because I hadn't really had any of those and stuff. So I grabbed that for the stash. And then they had the APMEX. I was always been a fan of this this design, and they tend to be like really clean actually on these. So really beautiful design. So on these, so the backs are okay, but but this one here is definitely been a nice line. So I got like 4 of those as well and stuff. So so 8 more ounces, and then that kind of gives me. I already had mostly some buffaloes in here, kind of a mixture of stuff, but most of these are mostly generic buffalo rounds, and so that gives me actually a little over a roll of just generic 1 ounces here. So I'll have I'll start working on my next. I've got another tube to start working on, another tube of generics. And as I mentioned in some other videos, I mostly, I have been focused more on gold lately. I'd say, especially since December, I've been more focused on getting into, more gold, and especially pre-33 gold. That's, really what I've kind of shifted, to. And then silver-wise, though, I'm definitely focused on generic silver, and then and even constitutional or junk silver and stuff. So kind of what I'm really focusing on. And I've got some other premium silver. I'm kind of considering maybe selling, and if I can get the right price for it. It just kind of depends. But so I'm kind of considering selling that, and then switching and just focusing more on just the generic and the constitutional only. For the silver stuff, and not doing too much. And I already had traded in some stuff before early on to kind of get into gold. That was kind of got my start when I got my first gold coin was the half ounce Krugerrand, and which I've traded in since then to switch over to the pre-33 gold, and stuff. So so it's but I've been really happy with that. But I'm still be stacking silver as well. I think it's still a pretty good investment in the long run. And as I say, this is the poor man's gold. And so at the end of the day, odds are, as things hit the fan more and more, then this is probably your everyday type of barter. More likely, this will probably be, my assumption is that this would probably be more likely people's normal exchange. So if I needed to, trade something like this in, and if you think about, I know it seems a little bit expensive for people that were buying silver back in the day when it was $12 an ounce, things like that, which I wish I was into it back then, but I wasn't. So but if you think, something like this is, easily, $25, $30, if we get in an environment where this like easily doubles or triples or more, you think about that. If this is worth like $60 or more for one of these, that's pretty good environment. Maybe even more. I mean, what if this thing goes, $100 or more, for 1 ounce, then you got some pretty good, barterability there in terms of being able to exchange this for food or things like that. Maybe working with local farmers to, give them some silver for, eggs, some fresh farm eggs type of thing, or maybe meats or whatever to kind of help feed your family and stuff. So, that's one way I look at it. And with that, in that situation, they're not gonna care about, they're not gonna care about premium silver. Most people are gonna, most people probably aren't even gonna know the difference at that point. So for me, it's more of, it's still kind of a hedge of inflation. Gold being primary, silver being secondary, and stuff. So, but like I said, the silver's kind of it will help hold its value versus the fiat currencies and stuff. So, but on this, also the other thing is I mentioned the pre-33 gold, and part of that is to also avoid the possible confiscations that will likely come at some point. But also on top of that is that's another reason why it's good to have some silver in your stack, because they're less likely to confiscate silver, and so that's something to where it would be important to have, just for that reason alone, that they're probably not going to confiscate they're not going to probably waste their time with silver, most likely, or at least it wouldn't be first, and for sure the gold would go first, to where that would be the problem, where they would try to, they could even try to outlaw gold, things like that again at some point. But again, they're going to want their stack of they're wealthy people and the politicians. They're going to want to have their stack. So, which primarily means they're going to want to have probably collector gold, things like that, and so you're probably less likely to get that confiscated, and especially if you're not keeping it, if you're keeping it if you have it in your possession and you're not leaving it in a bank, the deposit box, those kind of things, which would be really stupid these days, especially the way these banks are. And speaking of banks, we're hearing more and more reports of banks just like shutting down randomly, and like they'll just board up the bank, and people are going to the bank, and especially places like California, I think. But I'm hearing more and more reports of that, so just be leery of that and be cautious on what's going on there. They may just board up their ATM machines and things like that. They're not functioning. I've seen more and more TransFund, even with 7-Elevens here in the South. Now they always bragged about being free, and now we have TransFund. Now I went there just the other day to get some cash out to go to the coin shop, and there's a sign on there saying TransFund now charges $1.50 per transaction, and so and then also just to kind of show you where things are going with inflation. I had a friend that was recently complaining his tire was getting low on air, so he went to a local gas 7-Eleven or something, and he was shocked that they no longer had the free air and stuff, and that's why I first heard about it, actually, was through a friend. And so they didn't have the free air. Now they have the machines out there. You have to slide your debit card, and it's literally like $2 per tire, to where it like airs up the tire, and then it'll just automatically shut off once it hits the right psi. So it's like $2 a tire, and he was just flipping out about it, And this is a guy that he's driving a Beamer, and he's complaining about $2 a tire. Like I kind of finds kind of ironic, but it just kind of shows you the times where we're at now. All of a sudden, all those little things that over the years that was kind of a nice convenience and stuff that these companies were making. They probably were making more money on the fact that you're going to come in, use the ATM, and then they're hoping you're going to buy something. Now they're not. A lot of companies are getting rid of that, and then all their services suck these days. And so it's hard to get good service. It really is hard to get good service. So, when I see good service, then I'm glad to kind of reward it. We took my kids to IHOP today and for lunch, and and we had the waitress was pretty nice, and very she's pretty good. So I went and gave her a good tip today, and I know a lot of them are probably struggling. So happy to help when I can and stuff. So, but keep on stacking, and hang in there, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.